Brian, the jury in the Justice Stevens case took just 3 hours to convict him of the first-degree premeditated murder of his 80-year-old neighbor, Bernita Billy Cunningham. That's a verdict that will carry with it a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. It was back in November of 2006 when her body was found in her Hubbardston home. Initially, police said she had fallen into a mirror while hanging Christmas ornaments. But Cunningham's family never bought that story, and they hired a private investigator to find out more. His work was eventually turned over to the Michigan State Police, and that investigation led to Stevens being charged with murder in her death. Now today, the jury was especially interested in rehearing the taped testimony of Stevens' sister, Destiny. She said the first words out of her brother's mouth during a phone call were, quote, "I killed an old lady." And when she asked her brother why, he said he only meant to get cigarette money from Cunningham. But he knew after he hit her the first time that she could recognize him. And so when she tried to run, he chased her down and killed her. Ionia County Prosecutor Ron Schaefer says that testimony was the tipping point. Cunningham's family is relieved that this part of the ordeal, at least, is behind them.
And I think that type of emotional testimony coming from a loved one of the defendant carried a lot of weight in this trial.
It is a tremendous relief for us, and while it's very emotional still, it feels like a weight has been lifted off our shoulders.
Now, immediately after the jury returned that verdict, I asked Lori Cunningham how her mom would have felt about today's verdict. She said she would have been proud of her kids for questioning authority in the first place and for sticking this out through the whole 4.5-year time. Right now, we're live in Ionia. Steve Kelso, 24 Hour News 8.